Welcome. Today we have with us Mr. Ricardo Peters, who is renowned for his unwavering passion for leadership, management, and the practical application of agility. He plays a pivotal role in guiding teams and leaders on their path to achieving organizational excellence. His primary focus is on uniting individuals to navigate the myriad challenges, diverse approaches, methods, and organizational cultures that define the modern landscape. Ricardo firmly believes that empowering people is the cornerstone for cultivating happier and more productive work environments, while paving the way for the emergence of remarkable new opportunities. With a multifaceted professional background, Ricardo serves as a Gallup Strengths Coach, a trusted consultant, a seasoned project manager, a proficient business analyst, and an adept agile coach. His clientele extends not only across Brazil but also internationally. Ricardo holds a bachelor's degree in social communication, a postgraduate degree in information technology management, and an MBA in business management. Mr. Ricardo, we are very glad to have you with us today. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be able to contribute with another PMI chapter. As we are talking about before the webinar, I'm from Brazil. I'm situated on the northeastern region of Brazil and on a coastal city. Here in Brazil, it's 1 hour past lunch hour, so a very different time zone. And I'm very glad to talk to you today about a topic that is very dear to me. And since I start working with these techniques that I'm going to show here, I'd like to say I improved a lot on leadership. So when you see the title of this talk, starting your leadership journey, maybe you assume that, hey, there's going to be a great leader that's going to come and teach us about leadership. So first disclaimer alert, I'm not that person. I'm learning leadership as I go. I have many flaws on this one, but I keep improving and improve a little bit every day. It's better. And the chosen word for the title, your leadership journey, the word journey is very important for me because I believe many things in life are related to journeys. You choose to step up on a path and move towards your objective. And sometimes it takes a long time to get there, right? So George was kind enough to share with me the whiteboard, and I'm going to start today's conversation with a simple exercise. You are welcome to participate if you want to. I'm going to ask you, I see a lot of mouses moving on the whiteboard, and I'm going to ask you if you don't want to use your name, you can simply choose the text tool and write any allies you want. It's a very simple exercise. I want you to find out where you are, and then we can see where everyone else in the session is in terms of information. So I'm going to draw a line here at the center. Okay. Oops. So there's the line. And I want you to pick your test tool and write your alias on the top of the screen. If you consider yourself an extroverted person, write your alias on the top of the screen. If you consider yourself a more reserved person, you're going to write your alias on the bottom of the screen, please. At this point, some people say, oh, sometimes I'm extroverted, and other times I'm more reserved. I'm not going to give you this option. This line is like a wall. You have to fall to one side of the wall, on the top or bottom. So extroverts at the top, and you can click on the big T, right? And as I'm doing here, right centering, extroverted. And then on the bottom, I'm going to put reserved people. Let's see how many extroverted or reserved people are here. If you are drawing and see, you can just click on and erase it, or don't mind at all. It's okay. Okay, we're starting to see people putting their alias. Another thing we can do, because I can see multiple names here, is just move your mouse. If it's hard to write, just move your mouse to the top part of the screen or the bottom part of the screen. That will work too. Okay, I see many people did that. So now the second part of the exercise, you are either on the top of the screen or in the bottom of the screen, right? The second part of the exercise, I'm going to draw another line here at the center, okay? And you're going to choose, if you are an extrovert, you are on the top. If you are a reserved, you are on the bottom. So keep that in mind. And now let's look at left and right. If you are on the left or top bottom, right? You are going to go there if you are a person oriented. If you are a person that is more oriented towards tasks and results, you're going to go to the left side of the screen. And if you are a person who is more relationship and people oriented, you're going to go to the left. So neither of these two options are mutually exclusive, right? You can be focused on task and results, and also sometimes be focused on people and relationship. Doesn't mean that you don't like people and you don't develop relationships. I want to know, where do you go automatically? Where do you prefer to spend more time? So now we have 4 quadrants on the screen. We have people who are extroverted and or task-oriented and result-oriented on the top here. Or you can have people that are extroverted and people or relationship-oriented on the right. And on the bottom, same thing, reserved and oriented to task and results, or people and relationships. So what I want from this exercise is just for you to find yourself in one of these quadrants. Many people, when I do this exercise, I see here for the mouse positions that we have a fairly distributed amount of people in each quadrant. And when I do these exercises, when people are able to talk, they usually say, I don't know, I'm not sure. I'm having a hard time figuring out in which quadrant I am. And that is genuine and interesting, because if you're going to do the test that I'm going to talk about, that is also a possibility that you are in more than one quadrant, okay? But remember, for techniques purpose, I only asked you 2 questions, right? And if you look at the questions I'm asking, if you sometimes talk to a person or work with a person, you don't even have to ask, right? You figure out that the person is extroverted or more reserved. And if you work a little bit with this person, you know if this person is more task and results oriented or people and relationship oriented. So find your place. I'm going to share my presentation now. Thank you for participating on this exercise. And my name is Ricardo Peters. As I told you, I'm from Brazil. When you receive the presentation, the exercise is put here. But at the end of the exercise, we have these 4 quadrants. So you are on one of those. If there are people from psychology here, I have another disclaimer to make, right? I'm talking about a very famous model called DISC, DISC, in terms of assessment. This is a comprehensive and famous assessment that takes you an hour to do. You have a lot, I think, 120 questions to fill out, and it's going to give you a detailed information on what are your preferences and how you understand the world usually, right? And don't trust the only 2 questions I did. Those is just an example, so you can try to find this. And the reason why I say that is if you want really to know if you are D, I, S, or C, if you really want to know, you should take the test, right? Because the test will tell you and will give you a lot of information. I believe most people, or at least some of the people present here, have done the test in the past and know it. And if you did, you know that it's not just one letter, right? You have people that can be D first and then I. You have people that can be D first and C. So you have all these combinations, and even a small part of the population have 3 of those, right? Are able or crossed profiles like an I and C or D and S. And what are those letters? This is, I'm not going to talk about DISC, but I usually do this exercise because it's easier to figure out where you go naturally. But I would say that people with dominance are very assertive people, like others to be heard, are people very focused on what needs to be done. They are very task-oriented and are usually afraid of failure. So they keep asking what needs to be done. If you are on the influence quadrant, you are an extroverted, but you really like doing things with people, engaging people in activities and delivering results in a team, right? You also bring joy to the workplace. You're probably the person who organizes dinner and parties and bring a lightness to the day-to-day activities. If you are an S from steadiness, you have won the lottery because I'm on this one. So this is my preferred place to go. And it's the best one, I might say. Just kidding. But if you are S, you are more reserved, but you are very focused on planning and executing in a great style. People from S are very worried about delivering and not staying on the ideas field only, right? But bringing value by delivering work. And on the compliance side, so D asks what, I ask who, S ask why, and compliance, I forgot right now, but I think it's how are we going to do this? And people from compliance are people who like to spend a lot of time on the ideas field and love to work with frameworks and be compliant with the rules within these frameworks. So they are more reserved and they are very precise people in terms of accuracy. So I could spend the whole hour talking about this, but I imagine, give me a reaction if possible there, if I got most of it right. And if not, bear with me to the end of the webinar that because you're going to see other differences. So this is one approach that we have, and there are several assessments. Perhaps some of you have done at least one of those. So DISC is very famous. Big Five is also very famous. MBTI, Myers-Briggs type indicators, is a lot famous as well. A test MBTI-like can be done for free in a site called 16 Personalities. You write the number 16 and then personalities. You can do the test for free. But Enneagram is another very famous one. But the one that I chose for myself to better understand and specialize was Clifton Strength, this one of the bottom. I did many of those, and I found out this, for me, it was the best one. So we're going to talk about Clifton now and how it relates to leadership. I'm going to make the connection in a few slides, right? Before that, I have a proposal for you. I have the 10 next slides are very heavy on test, but all you have to do if you want to participate is, I'm going to read the questions. You have to choose 1, 2, 3, or 4. So if you have some sheet where you can write or a place on your computer, I'm going to show 10 slides. For each slide, choose one number for the questions. Okay, write it down because you're going to need those numbers by the end of the slide. And it's not a comprehensive test, but it will help you on your leadership style, okay? So first question is, when faced with a challenge, what is your first instinct? Number 1, gather the team and offer support. Number 2, create a plan and start working. Number 3, analyze the situation and think of innovative solutions. And number 4, inspire and motivate others to act. Don't think a lot about it. It might be very easy to choose from, okay? And I'm moving forward, okay? 1, 2, go. Next question. How do you prefer to communicate with your team? Number 1, through one-on-one conversations. Number 2, by giving clear and detailed instructions. Number 3, sharing ideas and asking for suggestions. And number 4, through persuasive speeches or presentations. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third slide. What do you believe is the most important for achieving success? Number 1, strong relationships and a cohesive team, efficient processes and effective execution, strategic planning and future vision, and number 4, influencing and inspiring others. 1, 2, 3, or 4. When starting a new project, what is your initial focus? Number 1, building strong connections with the team members. Number 2, setting clear steps and timelines. Number 3, developing a strategic roadmap for the goals. Number 4, inspiring enthusiasm and commitment among those involved. 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you handle conflicts within the team? Number 1, promoting open dialogue and understanding. Number 2, implementing structured processes and guidelines. Number 3, identifying root causes and proposing long-term solutions. Number 4, influencing perspectives and encouraging collaborative resolution. 1, 2, 3, 4, choose. Next one. What guides your decision-making in times of uncertainty? Prioritizing team harmony and morale. Number 2, following established protocols and procedures. Number 3, anticipating future trends and possible outcomes. And number 4, persuading others with a visionary direction. How do you motivate your teams to reach goals? Number 1, encouraging personal growth and team cohesion. 2, enhancing operational efficiency and productivity. Number 3, visualizing and communicating an inspiring future. Number 4, mobilizing others for effective action and results. 1, 2, 3, 4. When reflecting on a successful project, what do you value most? Number 1, the strength of interpersonal connections and teamwork. Number 2, the effectiveness of implemented processes and procedures. Number 3, the strategic decisions and insights that guided the project. Number 4, the ability to influence outcomes and drive positive change. Next one. When preparing for a major initiative, what is your main concern? Number one, building a strong team culture and ensuring everyone feels valued. Number two, creating detailed plans and procedures to ensure smooth execution. Number three, developing a strategic vision aligned with long-term goals. And number four, inspiring stakeholders and gaining their commitment. How do you introduce new ideas or changes to your team? Number one, fostering an environment of trust and collaboration. Number two, focusing on process efficiency and minimizing disruption. Number three, explaining the strategic logic behind the changes. Number four, influencing team members to embrace innovation. And we are there. So I'm not going to give you the answers to this test yet. We'll see that in another slide. But you might have noticed that you tend to be on one of the four questions, right? That there should be more ones or more twos or more threes or more fours in your notes. Sometimes people say, oh, I have 4 of one and 4 of another. Okay, so you have to figure out by doing the other assessment that I will show you. But hopefully you spend more time on only one of those. You might have a relation of 6 of one number or 5 of one number at least, okay? Even 4, and the rest is distributed. So I'm going to tell you which of those. If you have more number ones, keep the number 1 in mind. If you have more number 2s, keep number 2 in mind, and so on, okay? So before I bring you the results, let's talk about what Don Clifton did and the university on the 50s, I think, on the University of Nebraska in the United States. He was a professor there, and he invited the students to participate, his students to participate in an experiment. And the experiment was this. I'm going to measure how many words can you read per minute. So people who volunteered for the experiment, their students, could be grouped in 2 major groups, right? On the first round, people who were considered not talented in speed reading, right? They were able to read 90 words per minute, okay? And people who were considered talent, more talent at least, were able to read 150 words per minute, right? So you might notice on this first round a big difference, almost 100%, like at least 8%, 80% on different from people who were able to read faster than the others. So what Clifton did on the experiment, many HR departments on the company do. Let's hire someone to teach people how to read faster. So all the students participating on the experiment, they were able to take a speed reading course. And after training, you can now see the results. People who were considered on the first round not talented, from 90 words per minute, they were able to read 300 words per minute. If you look only at the results isolated, this is a big success. They have a large increase, right, on the number of words that they can read. They improved a lot. But even with this improvement, they are a little bit higher from people who did 150 words per minute, right? By the other persons that were considered talent, they were able to read per minute, I kid you not, 2,900 words per minute. So if you look only at the 90 and 300, you say they improved. But when you analyze the whole context and look at the talented ones, the results that they achieved were out of the scale. As we say in Brazil, Don Clifton might, when looking at the result, they might look like this. My mind just exploded. And he figured out something. He figured out that, hey, we're doing things wrong, because those people that were considered not talented in the second round, it's not that they cannot read, right? They can read. They can even read faster, but they lack the talent to read 2,000, almost 3,000 words per minute. So as much as they increase their effort on becoming better at reading, they might not reach out the 3,000 words per minute. While other people, just throughout a simple technique and training, were able to achieve outstanding results on the second round. So this was the beginning of the positive psychology on investing effort in what you are very good at, instead of spending time and effort on things that you lack a lot of potential to do, right? So why this is relevant to us? And the Clifton Strengths was born from this experiment. And what if you have taken the test, you already know what I'm going to tell. This are sheets that are example of the test, right? And I think it's the Don Clifton himself test. And they were able to group the talent that we all have as human beings in 34 groups. Those groups receive names. And the test, what the test does, many people confuse because it's called strengths, Clifton Strengths, right? People say, oh, so those are my strengths. No, those are not your strengths. Those are the group of talents that you have the most potential to improve, right? If you are going to transform this into a strength or not depend on several factors. I talk to people all the time while I'm doing coaching using Clifton Strengths, and usually people get very good on one of the 5 first teams of talents that they have. And the others are sometimes they can identify that thing in themselves, but they didn't know how to name it. They usually sporadically, if they use it at all. So sometimes the work that you do help you a lot on develop one of those. For instance, in my case, my number one was a total stranger to me, right? And my number 4, which is learner, I consider that is a strength in me. It's highly developed, can be improved, of course, but I'm not doing work on my number 4. So I decided to work on myself on my number 1. And when I identify this and I start using it in a planned way, very intentionally and frequently, I started getting results using these talents. And the rest, at least for myself, is history, because a lot of opportunities that came my way, they came because I now understand this about myself. So hopefully you are at least interested in taking this assessment. You will not regret. And it's a journey of self-discovery that you're going to start using this one, right? So if you look at the Clifton Strength, as we started at the beginning, we also have 4 major domain areas where you might be tending to spend more time on, right? So it's time for our answer. If you are number 1, you probably have the potential to be a people-oriented leader. So mark the word blue, relationship building. This is number 1. If you are number 2, you are like me, you are a process-oriented leader. If you have more number 3s, you're going to be the thought-oriented leader, which is related to the domain strategic thinking. And if you are more number 4s on the R tests, you are an impact-oriented leader that usually works more with the influencing domain. When you take a look at this side here, this it looks for us that we kid a lot among coaches. This looks like a periodic table, right, with the elements. So those are the 34 talents, and what you see in darker color here are the 10 first talents of this person, right? So as you can see, this person has a lot of executing teams. The second team that he has is relationship building teams, a little bit of strategic teams, and only one influencing team. So that might vary a little bit. So you have to take the test to figure out exactly which of those you are. But I would say by looking at it that this person is more of a process-oriented leader, right? So he also spends a lot of time with people, or like to spend a lot of time with people. And the reason I can say that is looking at the blue items that they have. And this person has the possibility to work with strategic think whenever necessary, but this person lacks a little bit of the influencing. So this person could benefit a lot pairing with another person who have more influencing teams. So that's the idea behind the assessment. It's not used for recruiting people, but is used to assemble pairs and teams in organization. Gallup does that a lot. So the more mix you have on this one, more chances you have to have a better observation of factors in your company and team, right? And it's interesting. I once worked with a team here in Brazil, and we did the assessment for like 35 people. And then I put all the results on the spreadsheet and look at the results with them. So when you look at the group as a whole, they were leaders, all of them were leaders, and they were people-oriented leaders, right? And that would show in the conversation with them that they have great relationship between them and probably with the people that they lead, right? But one thing that I told these people is that, hey, if you look at this guy over here and that other person over here, you should value a little bit more their input, because they are seeing things based on impact or process or thoughts. So you should consider their opinions a little bit more, because you tend always to go for the people, and we should strive for a clear balance among the 4 areas. And they are looking at me like this, hey, you're probably right. We usually tend to be lenient to the people who work with us. And sometimes that is a problem to us. So that gave voice to people who have different talents or experiences. What are you saying, Ricardo? I'm saying that if you are working in a company and you have meetings with other managers, that the company would benefit a lot if some of the managers were people-oriented, other managers were process-oriented, thought-oriented, and impact. The more diverse this group, the better would be for a better observation of leadership in the organization. I hope that makes sense. And let's dive a little bit in each of these groups so you can take notes. I believe you're going to have this presentation after, but you may take notes on the area that you scored more, right? So the number ones, relationship builders. Those are people who are oriented to other people. And the strengths on these people is that you kind of glue the team together. You make it possible to deepen relationships and make the team strong as a whole. because you are able to build genuine trust, and you care deeply about how others feel and how others are doing, and you try to bring a relationship to the plate, right? In another, their weaknesses for people-oriented lead, they might prioritize people over performance. So what would that entail in practice? Hey, that person has been underperforming for a long time now. They have given a lot of chances to this person, and it doesn't improve. Some people who are people-oriented think that it's okay to just transfer this person to another department, and they are transferring usually the problem. So maybe it would be better to let this person go. But I also admit that that could be a strategy, right? If the other department does another type of service. May provide emotional support without solving the root problem. So it's therapy meeting where you talk about the problem, sometimes not solving it, but creating awareness. But for companies, this is very difficult because you need the problem solved, right, at the first place. So we call it empathetic leadership because of the strong connections that they are able to build. So those people value interpersonal connections and team engagement. They create a supportive and inclusive environment. They are good listeners who fosters collaboration. And if the environment is more competitive, they might not like it. So if you are to communicate with a people who is a relationship builder, build rapport before discussing technical matters, create a relationship first, then start being more assertive, right? Show genuine care for people and maintain a friendly tone and promoting teamwork. That will make them listen. If you are number 2, you are probably like me, the process-oriented leader. Our strengths are to set the pace and work alongside the team. We create efficient and effective systems. And our focus is usually on the systems itself. How can I improve the system as a whole, right? And our weaknesses is we might become very rigid, limiting the team's potential. And this speaks to me a lot because sometimes we create rules and we like the rules, and we fail to see that that rule does not apply anymore or it needs to be changed, right? We like the order that those rules bring, and anytime those rules are break, even if they were for a good cause or improvement, we might not look at it at the right way. And we might also use an overemphasis on processes, which can, as we know, reduce agility. I find myself on a crossroads here, because what I discovered after I started working with agility a long time ago, and then I did my assessments, and there is one team of talents that is very, very much aligned with agility definition, which is the adaptability talent. So people who have adaptability, they are very flexible. And you know what? My adaptability is my number 33. So promptly I asked myself, how can I like agility if I'm not that adaptable? And this is the wrong way to look at the problem. It's not that I cannot adapt. It's not that I cannot be a better agile professional. It's the other way. That is the wrong way to look at it. The way to look at it is that, hey, you are the type of agilist that can bring improvement of systems to a team. You are very capable of looking at problems, understand the problems, bring solutions, build systems that help that team be better. The only thing that you might pay attention is that sometimes you are going to force the systems even in situations that they not work very well. So that self-awareness might help you get better at this one. I know I'm almost at the end. Okay, bear with me a little bit. So those are practical leaders, people who make things happen. They like to do. The key traits are they are focused on delivering results and efficiency, motivated by concrete challenges and clear goals, prefer structured processes and organized methods. If you are communicating with a doer, be direct and practical, get to the point quickly, present clear and tangible goals, show the real impact of the work, and provide autonomy to execute. If you are number 3, congratulations, you have the potential to be a thought leader, which is a term that we are hearing a lot. So you are a person who works more on the domain of strategic thinking. Your strengths are you see the big picture and you are able to anticipate trends. You are open to new ideas and innovative approaches. So it's kind of the opposite of the problems I was discussing. And myself, I would appreciate work with a strategic thinker because, and he would appreciate working with me because we can complement each other. While he spent a lot of time thinking about how things should be done or how to innovate, I can bring him down to the ground and say, okay, time to do the work instead of just thinking about it. If we both respect our approaches, we might be able to get the best of each one, right? So I might learn a lot from him as well, learning how he is able to anticipate his ideas or working with approaches that are more innovative. The weaknesses for the strategic thinker is that they might suffer from analysis paralysis. They might overthink and underact, might confuse the team due to the lack of clarity because they are always thinking 20, 30 steps ahead. This is a type of visionary leadership. The key traits are the ability to analyze scenarios, anticipate future trends, enjoy exploring innovative ideas, and challenge the status quo. Excellent planners, excellent. And developers of strategies. You're often going to see those people fascinated for business model or new ways of working. And they probably like chess, I think. If you need to communicate with a strategic thinker, you might present information in a structured way with relevant data. Data is very important to these people. Allow time for reflection before expecting answers, encourage conversations about possibilities and long-term vision. Last but not least important, we have the number 4, people who are on the influence quadrant. So those people are very oriented to the impact that they might be able to cause on the organization, the project, and so on. The strengths are they set high standards and pursue always excellence. They set the bar very high. They are people who inspire other people, mobilizes them to go ahead and move forward to deliver better work. The weaknesses is that sometimes they are going to set the bar so high that no one can achieve it. And that's kind of unrealistic. And those people will not tend to see this easily. And what happens to people under their leadership is that they get burned out, right? And also, because of the impact, whenever you identified a new way to make impact, you tend to, that is better or is going to provide a larger impact than the previous way, you just change it. And this might cause confusion on the people and even loss of trust, okay? So we are talking about a type of charismatic leadership, and the key traits are energize and mobilize those around them, motivate and inspire teams to achieve big goals. They are skilled communicators usually and excellent networkers. They have a lot of people who they can articulate and bring their abilities in to do the work. And if you need to communicate and really be heard by an influencer, Use enthusiasm and interactivity in conversations, acknowledge and appreciate their contributions, give space for them to express ideas and opinions. So we are getting to the end of this talk, and I hope at this point you are able to figure out at least 2 assessments that you can take to better know yourself, right? How those abilities can relate to different leadership styles. Hopefully, by hearing me, you identified where you are, not only, but where people who work with you are as well, even your boss, for instance. Maybe you are using the wrong language to communicate with your boss. So my final message to you is that by investing in your strengths, you invest what makes you a great leader. 3,000 words per minute. Not good, great, like way up the chart. Those things are like superpowers. They come easy to you. You are not going to make a lot of effort, and you're going to deliver brilliant work in these areas if you know which areas they are, which talents that you have, and if you understand them and can point yourself to the work that will allow you to use those talents, right? So leadership starts on a self-discovery. Start by finding out which type of this leader you are, and build a leadership persona based on your strengths, not on your weaknesses. I'll give you a practical example about myself. People who are greens, analytical, thought, strategic thinking, they usually love data. They love spreadsheets. I have a secret to tell you. I hate spreadsheets. The part of project management that I am very, very bad at is cost. The knowledge area is cost and doing accountability on the cost of the project. I am able to do it. I have learned how to do it, but it doesn't come easy to me. You understand that? Like I have nightmares the night before I have to deliver that spreadsheet. It's very difficult for me to do that, but I'm able to do it, which means that I will not shine on cost, but I might shine on communication. I might shine on human resources. I might shine on quality. Depends on the abilities that I have, and understand that might make all the difference in your work as a project manager and for your team as well. Because if I know that I'm bad at something and I cannot be good at everything, I start valuing the abilities from people that are different from my abilities. If I surround myself with people that have the same ability with me, I'm creating a group of blind people who cannot see the whole. If I surround myself with people who have different abilities from me, we have a better chance to observe any phenomena in our projects and then deliver and solve problems easily, because we are going to have more options. So take this reflection with you. How can you apply your strengths in your role this week? And it's an open question, but I'm sure you are now probably thinking of ways of doing that. If you want to be an effective leader, you need to learn to speak more than one language. While during the test, you might tend to spend more time on number 1, number 2, 3, or 4, one of the 4 domains, right? You might be failing to communicate in a good way with people from other domains. So understand what we have discussed here today might give you a better chance to better communicate an idea to those people that think different from you. So choose someone on your team, and next week try adapting your communication to their style. I'll give you another practical example. I'm S, right? Am I on the executing domain? So I had a boss who were on the orange domain, the influencing domain. And this boss particularly, I came to him and say, hey, I finished that job that you wanted me to do. So in my head, I want to tell him all the information, how I made the decisions, which worked, which didn't work best. I would like to hear their opinion on all those things. And when I say that to him, he stopped, look at me and say, did it work? And he's only waiting for a yes or no question. And I said, yes, it worked. We did this. And no, that's okay. If it worked, it's okay. And I would frequently come back to my desk frustrated because I wasn't able to discuss this. But this is his way of communicating, right? So if I'm going to get results with this boss, I need to speak their language. So how can I do that without satisfying myself? I can do both. I can say, okay, boss, it worked as expected. I'm going to send you an email where I show what worked well, what didn't work so well. Please, when you have time, read it. And if you have any opinions, let me know, okay? Thank you. So you were objective as the person was waiting for, and you send all the information that you wanted to send, even in a formal way, right? Using an email. So there are ways practical to adapt to the way of communication. Remember, understanding profiles improves leadership. Clifton is the assessment of my choice to do that. Okay, you can choose another one. I mentioned a free one if you want to take. All of them are good paths for you to figure out. I like Clifton the best. So if you can do, as I just explained, small adjustments in your communication, you can have big impacts on your. And since you stay with me at the end of this presentation, I'm going to answer some questions if you guys have it. Here's my email, and please connect with me on LinkedIn. And I have a mission, a personal mission, which is give people that interact with me this gift of understanding a little bit. So if you, by any means, have already taken the Clifton Strengths Assessment or the 34, okay? Do the 34. Don't do the top 5. You're going to regret because it's a little more money, but it's better. So if you have taken this test or if you want to take it, let me know. Reach out to me in LinkedIn, and I will sit down with you for an hour, and I'll teach you how to read this assessment and what to do with the information that they have. Because I really believe, and this is for free, right? No strings attached. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I might make a small commission, but it is okay. We will continue to be friends. And I want people to have this tool and use this tool to develop their best leader. And I want a work environment where people work from their strengths, not being obligated to work on their weakness. That's what I had to bring to you today. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I give it back to you, George.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peters. Indeed, we learned a lot of new things today. So now we will proceed to the questions. Anyone who has a question can write at the chat. And we have our first question from Mrs. Effie Athanasiou. What about people that combine all these characteristics and have an even distribution between the 4 numbers?
Okay, this is a good question. If you find a person like this, you should ask her to do the test, because the test is going to be able to identify where does this person go often. It's just one of them, right? But there are people who have a very, I think it relates to your question, who have a very balanced distribution of talents. So if you are one of those people, like you have from 10, you have 3 in one dimension, 3 in another dimension, 3 in a third domain, and 2 in another domain, which is the, no, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. You're going to have distributed, and this is an advantage, I think, because you are able to spend time in each domain, and all of those are very strong in you. Some of them are going to be stronger, are going to be behaviors that you tend to do more often, but you are able to also do it another way. So you are in a privileged position to communicate easily with other people. That's not my case when I look at my assessment, but that should be viewed as a good thing, in my opinion. Hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't see any other questions at the chat right now. I see only thank you and great presentation. So we're very happy that you enjoyed it. So if you do not have any other question, we can close this session for today. Mr. Peters, thank you very much for being here with us. It is an honor and we're very happy. And we are looking forward to meet you again in the future at some point.
Thank you for this amazing opportunity to talk about something that I'm very passionate about. Hope that some of this was useful to everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all who attended today this event, and we will see you at the next webinars. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Bye.